That's what Joe Biden does. Hi, I'm Jimmy Linguini. Welcome to Comic Wars, episode 31. I think we're on. Hopefully, we're on. Who knows? But anyways, this is the comicbookspeculation.com podcast. And you guys can introduce yourselves. Hopefully, you're not biting fingers like Joe Biden, but I'm down.
No, sir. It's the time of the year to bite your lip. This is Sleepy John biting his lip about both, the speculation market at this time and still being on this podcast with Jimmy. So there we go.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to make you guys uncomfortable with some silence.
Yeah.
I'm Nico, your weekend update correspondent with comicbookspeculation.com. It is great to be here. I'm really excited about today's show. In spite of Jimmy's hijinks and John's reservedness in response to Jimmy's comments about Joe Biden, I believe he was sucking on his wife's fingers. But who am I to judge? Let's get going.
I just liked it because it was out of nowhere. Like he was just in a it's a funny GIF of him at a debate and he just bites her hand or something.
He called the GIF a GIF. Let's get going.
He called the GIF a GIF.
Well, listen, I think it's fun. I didn't have an intro topic, which kind of sucked, but so I mean that's fine.
Noted Joe Biden.
Dude, maybe they were eating Doritos and she had Dorito fingers. I can relate to that.
Strong.
I think we backloaded the podcast this evening. I think we got a lot of good content at the end. We always like a big end.
Let's start from the bottom, and now we're here. Wait.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Wednesday Warrior Guide for December 4th, which is tomorrow. Did you know that? That's tomorrow. So this week, there's some okay books. Last week was really lame. The week before that was lame. This week has some okay stuff, but we're not really right on track for a good Wednesday Warrior week. But let's see what we start off with. First one is Kill Whitey Donovan. Have you heard about this book from Dark Horse Comics?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the. I didn't know about it until.
I thought it was a back issue.
Yeah, no, it comes out tomorrow. So nice. I didn't have my Key Collector app updated, but I saw this on Deadline because I got an email from Deadline saying that this had been optioned. Apparently, this is it's Sydney Duncan, I believe, is the writer. She has never written a comic book before. This is her first creator-owned series, and it's about revenge, and it seems really cool. The main character's sister commits suicide, and then it's about the main character then seeking vengeance by going after her estranged fiance. So it's who is Whitey Donovan. So it just seems really cool, and they want to turn it into an action film. So it's going to be a female-led action film. So there's two covers. I just thought it was cool, and it's the Hideout is the people. Hideout Pictures are the people who acquired it. So I don't know anything else they've done, but this book comes out tomorrow. It's probably a good book to buy if you can find it for cover price.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this for cover price. In terms of a Wednesday flip, probably $10.
I think it's at $7.99 right now.
Really, it's not even at 10.
Yeah,
jeez,
I'm not sure. I don't think it's a Western. It might be, but again, it's about the synopsis doesn't describe it as a Western. It says it's more of a revenge story.
Okay.
And I think there are supernatural elements. I can't remember. I wrote a whole thing on comicbookspeculation.com about it, but I can't remember the exact details. But it does look interesting. So
okay.
And there's two covers. This one here, the A cover on the left, and then this blue one that you can see, small one right here. I couldn't find a trade dress for it, so I didn't put it anywhere.
I thought this one might be, the A cover might be like a crossover with Rye, seeing as that's going to be, Bloodshot's going to be a big, Rye #0, Bloodshot's going to be a big thing coming up. Not a Dark Horse book, but maybe crossover, trying to get the word out.
You never know, but I mean, so many things are optioned these days that, who knows how long this will last.
I know. I'm a little disappointed that it's only selling for $8. Upon it's not even out yet. Usually, this is when books sell for their peak, when it's not released and people are already starting to talk about it a little bit. Now, granted, it just came out.
It's sold out though. It's sold out right after the announcement came out on Diamond. So.
But when did Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think historically the trend on these type of options are going downhill severely.
Burger books are Dark Horse, right? So we have what she can fly. That was one that got optioned, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah,
does
yeah, yeah.
nothing. There's another burger book
That book
that
was
did
selling
nothing now.
for an easy 20 though
At
when
one
it
point, yeah. Now it
yeah.
sells for nothing.
And I think it
Um,
was already out at the time when it was selling for 20.
yeah, because it was optioned after it came out, even though the first appearance was that ash can that never sold for anything. I
Mhm.
believe there was another one too, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I know Nico has no idea what we're talking about, but that's okay. I'm into it.
No,
No, Nico probably owns the book that we're
Oh
thinking
no,
of.
100%. He just probably doesn't know what it is. You should find this. If you see this book though tomorrow, I would pick it up. And again, the synopsis sounds really cool. And I bought 3 on eBay, and then I hit go live, and I didn't like finish the checkout, so I didn't get them. But really sucked on that, and now they're all way up.
Dark Horse doesn't have a very good online store, do they?
No, and they don't
For
have a really
buying.
good track record of books holding. Even Mind Management is a book that's dipped quite a bit. It went up, then down, and then up, and I
Mhm.
think it's still relatively down from where it's peaked at. So
Yeah.
the other book that comes out this week that seems to be catching some buzz is The Magnificent Miss Marvel, number 10. This book features the first appearance of the new character Storm Ranger, and Storm Ranger apparently first appears in Magnificent Miss Marvel issue 5. Right, that's what you were saying,
Well,
John. In
I
like
don't
some
know. I mean,
like that's the first time she's mentioned, at least, right?
yeah, the first time that if this character is just called Storm Ranger alone, not what it appears is Magnificent Miss Marvel number 5 first introduces the Kree Storm Rangers, kind of like it seems like it'll be a clan, and they have the same costume as the Miss Marvel gets in this series, new costume. The character in this book, though, appears to kind of be like, I don't know. What do you think, Jimmy? You saw the image. Does it appear to be like a Bizarro or like a reverse Miss
Well,
Marvel almost?
the hologram looked like Miss Marvel, but then yeah,
Yeah.
the new character Storm Ranger looks like a hologram. I just didn't post it because I don't see the reason to post new like to
No,
spoil
I
new
agree
books, right?
100%.
So that's why I
Um,
didn't. I know the image is out
so
there, but I mean, who cares?
the
But I don't know.
origin story of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is she succumbs to Terrigen Mist. What does that have to do with Kree? And is that part of her going to become part of her origin somehow? They never have alluded to that ever in the Miss Marvel stories up till this, the Kamala Khan, but I certainly see that it could become some kind of backstory. Whether that pans out or not, it's totally speculation because they didn't say anything that we know of in this book. But I think there should be some buzz around it because it is actually, I think it's important because of the story, not because of strictly a new Power Ranger. This is Power Ranger, right?
It could be. I think they both have good spec value. Power Rangers is on Netflix now. I watched one episode. It was bad. Um, Venom 2099 number 1 comes out this week as well. Have you guys heard anything about this book?
I did not even know this was coming out,
Okay,
honestly.
so this book features the first appearance of a totally new female Venom, or a she Venom. I don't know. I don't know what qualifies as a she Venom. Does that just make female Venom a she Venom? But she's black, which is why I think that it could have potential.
Wow.
Because I think and I've said this before, I think the new diversity characters that Marvel introduces, especially if they're female, I think they're great spec. But
So you're saying that there's a black woman that gets the
that becomes
Venom
Venom. She becomes the
symbiote?
she Venom. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the 1 in 25 variant, she's on the cover, and it seems to be selling for it's had some sales at 45 and 35. The last sale, this is the last sale, was $13.
That is
So
not a great cover.
it does have some interest, but who knows how long it's going. These are all
That's
one
pretty
shot,
terrible.
and I'm not sure what the 2099 universe is all about, but they are all one shot books. So I'm not sure if they're all going to tie together at some point. I'm not sure if they're going to do more of them, but this is a new first
Yeah,
appearance, and they
it's
did
gonna
say that the
tie.
2099 is the future, the actual future of the 616, not an alternate universe.
Okay,
So
well,
who knows?
That actually carries a lot of weight then if they did actually say that, because number one, that Venom 2099 right there is what they used for the Spider-Man 2099 variants when they did them from the original series. There's a few books that have Venom 2099 variant covers.
Well, that's the thing. So Venom 2099 one is I don't think it's selling for anything. The 1 in 25.
I don't mind that cover actually.
But
that cover is pretty cool. Yeah, there you
The
go.
first appearance of
there you
Venom
go.
2099 is Spider-Man 2099 35, and this book has this pretty gnarly variant cover, which I think is what you were alluding to.
Well, it's like we planned this. Like we planned.
And these have been dollar issues for such a long time, but I think in the last 3 years they have been coming a lot harder to find, and they have been selling for a lot more.
I've been looking for
they're
them
dollar
for a
issues.
year.
You can find them in dollar bins. I've been able to find them in dollar bins. I know that
I
think 36. It's either 36 or 37 has a Jay Lee variant cover. I got that in a dollar bin. Got it signed by Jay Lee, and it came back CGC 98. Like, these books are out there, but they're becoming harder and harder to find. So
super hard. I found zero. I've been looking for them for at least a year.
They have been sought after for a good while. I think I'm guessing when they came out, because I wasn't collecting when these came out. When 2099 number 1 came out, I was, but at this point, the market had died and I had got out of collecting. But
I wonder what the distribution was.
Well, these are later.
Low.
They're later issues in the Spider-Man 2099 series, and I don't think the 2099 series sold gangbusters, but I would assume by the time we're at issue 35 or issue 30, retailers weren't ordering that much.
It sold gangbusters originally. I remember ordering
crazy
but I think you're right. I think by the time this came out, it was a wrap.
Yeah,
because comics were a wrap by this time. You know what I mean?
But
Superman was long dead.
Kind of Doom crossover story, and I don't remember what that was, but I don't think that was received very well either. So who knows?
But I will say these in high grade do have you wouldn't have a problem selling them. Like if you found them for $2 in high grade, you could sell them on eBay for $10, no problem, for a long time. Now I'm talking like near mint, like real nice copies, because I think they have always been sought after for the most part.
I think interest has kind of spiked in the last few years on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think anybody realized what they were, but who knows? And I think especially the variants, because the variants were kind of like surprised variants that nobody really realized variants.
So what issue numbers are these? 35?
This is issue 35. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it goes up to 37 if I'm right. And then
I'm not sure if it's more than that, but
I'm pretty sure it's up to 37. I could be wrong, but those ones also command some money. And then we talked about this the last episode I was on. There's a trade paperback that continues the story that was done a little bit later, and they never printed it as floppies, as far as I know. And then they printed it in trade.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that. I forgot to look into that. That's someone should write that down.
Yeah, for real.
Nico, take notes. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm right on that. I'll just be doing that and stuff.
And that's here for the secretary role.
Another book that comes out this week that's caught in some interest is this Conan Serpent War #1 by David Finch. Now, this is the 1 in 100 variant. What do you guys think?
What is this? To be honest, I'm not sure what is going on here. Is this a crossover?
I find all of the Conan and current continuity books stupid.
Have you read any?
And will not give any of them a try.
So you don't like this 1 in 100 variant though, by David Finch, featuring Moon Knight for no reason?
Finch, it's fucking stupid, dude.
No, I understand 100% what Jimmy's saying. David Finch and Moon Knight goes hand in hand. Best artist to do it since the original first series. You had some classic artists on the original first series, but Finch has been since then he's been the go-to Moon Knight artist. Sienkiewicz came back obviously for that one variant, so did Granov, but Sienkiewicz did some art on the original solo series. Yeah, this is not surprising. Yeah, exactly. Somebody like that who
So there's only been one sale. It was $159 or best offer. Moon Knight covers usually perform well, especially high ratio
Yeah.
variant ones. So
Yeah.
Remember the last one?
well, yeah, I do. So that's
And,
why
and that
I
was
put it here.
Sienkiewicz. What? Marvel Presents 4.
Something like that.
There it is. There it is. You didn't put it. Marvel Comics Presents number 4, I believe. Right, the Wolverine Moon Knight cover.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think this is a great pick this week. If I would have known this was coming, I might have looked for one online somewhere. Yeah, I think it's I think it's a no-brainer.
But I agree. All the Conan books are dumb. Speaking of dumb books, this week 2 monster properties that are filled with huge fan bases are colliding. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So there's this 1 in 50 variant cover. Now there's a few store variants, so this cover should be plentiful, but it is selling for about $50 to $60. It's by Kevin Eastman. It's a sketch variant, the one on the right, and then there's this one per store that you see on the left, and that one seems to be hitting $50 to $60 right now. But since it's a 1 per store variant, I would think that it would have legs, especially because of the 2 fan bases. And is that Shredder holding a? I don't know who that is holding the.
I thought that was a turtle.
Yeah, it's one of the turtles that's holding the Power Ranger head, right? Isn't Shredder a Power Ranger?
Shredder's not a turtle, nor
Or
a
a
Power
turtle?
Ranger, nor a Power Ranger.
Well, it's somebody's holding that mask, so.
Yeah, no, that's a cool play because Power Rangers been doing those masks for a while now. Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably got some long-term legs. I haven't checked the prices probably in the past 6 months for some of those rare Power Ranger helmet variants, but I know I made some decent money on some of those in the past.
Yeah, they just released some new ones.
Yeah, and those didn't seem to do as well. I think they were just like foil covers of the originals, right? You talking about those ones, or there was new artwork ones? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks.
Sorry, no, somebody sent me a text about some nonsense. I don't know. You know, sometimes you get texts about nonsense and you just go, "What is going on?"
Yeah, well, we're doing a podcast here. Feel free to join.
Have you seen the Netflix series? There's this new Netflix series. They just released the 3rd season. It's called the Toys That Made Us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I've never watched that until recently, but they have a really cool Turtles episode and a really cool Power Rangers episode that they just released. So,
my dude, we're gonna talk a little bit info later. He was telling me he had just last time I talked to him extensively. He had just finished watching the My Little Ponies one, and they talked about how bronies came to be.
Jesus.
Nico, I think, is interested and intrigued, but you're going to have to talk to Jimmy on that, Nico, as to how to become a brony. So, yeah, there's some some of these helmet variants that sell pretty well. The ones that I noticed in the past was Comics Pro had a variant that was just released at a convention, and then they actually released one at the same time that was maybe a 1 in 50 variant. Same issue. Both those were doing really well at the time they came out. And I found them later for much cheaper and then was able to resell them for a little bit more decent profit on it.
Yeah, see, everybody's saying it's Shredder. See, I wasn't wrong. What did I say? I said it was Shredder, right? Am I wrong? Who did I say it was?
You said it was Shredder. And then I said it's a Ninja Turtle, and you said, yeah, same thing.
Okay, exactly. We win. We win again. See, the chat is right. See, that's why I love having the live chat, because it just proves I'm right. I can just say nothing, and you can rant about whatever, and I can zone out, and then I can look at the chat and be right.
We got some good people. Got some good people in the chat.
Another book that comes out. I just thought it was fun. I stopped watching Power Rangers after they switched because I hated when they switched. So that was after like season 2 or season 3, and I don't remember anything about that stuff, and I was never into Turtles, so I'm just impressed with it. Okay, the other book that comes out this week that seems to be trending up is this amazing book. It's called Spider-Man and Venom Double Trouble. Now, we talked about Peach Momoko last week.
This is a Peach Momoko variant?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not typical for her style. It's very dark for her style. Interested. I saw the cover. I didn't realize it was her cover. Okay. She usually
Yeah.
does a lot of like lighter covers, a lot more. I guess I'll say they're more feminine covers. This one does not have that same feel to me, and I'm not opposed to
It's the
her
watercolor thing
previous
that she
work.
does. Like you see this wet look of Venom, and then even on the tongue, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, so the
she
book's
had
been
that Spider Gwen like color pencil variant,
yeah. I
where it
mean
was like all color pencils.
the book's been trending up. If you look at here, so it was selling for $30, and then the most recent sale was $90, was $65 out of the UK,
Mm.
and then before that it was $90 with the regular cover, and that's free shipping. So if you can find this 1 in 25 variant, I think it's worth it because I like it, and
Totally.
it's
I'd
seems to be
rather
doing well.
have like the John Boy Myers Venom Marvel Action variant that's dropped. I'd rather buy that than this one.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just talking about the quick flip for the
Yeah,
majority. Like
absolutely.
I think of all
Yeah.
of these, I wouldn't really want to keep any of them, especially this one. I mean, look at
That
the
one is.
feet.
I
Look at the
said that
feet.
one
Like
was
what? You
terrible.
didn't say the feet or anything, but I like. I guess the only one I might hold on to is Kill Whitey Donovan.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
aside
I'd
from
buy
that,
that.
this week is kind of slow. And again, the Conan cert, yeah, I wouldn't hold on to that one either. So
No,
who
but
knows?
I
But
could see that one.
the Power Ranger one might also have legs.
The Conan
Right.
one, when that hits the market like it should, I could see that one going up for the next week.
Yeah.
I think it's got double appeal. Now, the reason that Marvel Comics presents Moon Knight Wolverine one went up is like Wolverine and then Moon Knight. Now, those are both Sienkiewicz, but I think Conan and Moon Knight both have different appeal to different collectors. That's what you want to go for. Ultimate Storm. Get both people that are willing to pay high dollar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But I think that's it for our.
I buy it for $25.
Yeah, if I could find that for $25, yeah. But I don't. I don't. Good luck. It's a 1 in 100, and 2 orders 100 copies of a Conan book. So good luck. That's it though for our
All
Wednesday
right.
Warrior segment. So thank you for joining us
Good.
for that.
All right. See you later.
We also had this new segment that
is that not the end
John
of it?
wanted to talk about. Sleepy John.
Oh,
Nico,
yeah,
you ready for this?
yeah.
Nico's gonna wake up for this one, I think. Right, Nico? You're still there? I don't hear him, but I'm assuming he's there, right, Nico?
I think he just reads all the comments and doesn't know how to multitask.
I hope he's there. Can we acknowledge that he's
No,
here?
I'm definitely here. My
Yes,
connection's
okay, that's
been
okay. I just
spotty,
I just wanted to make sure you were here.
Okay.
and I
That's it.
apologize for that.
So
Yeah, I wonder if I should chime out and chime back in.
But listen, we have this
We'll
new
allow
segment.
it.
Though. Are you ready for it?
You can go out and come back in.
It's called the GPA analysis check for the
Ooh, I
week of
like
December 3rd. Very terrible graphics. I agree.
Yeah,
But,
did you make this on WordPress?
No, I copied and pasted Google images. These are all images
Yeah.
I just screen capped and whatever. I make it on
That was good.
WordPress.
So
You're rude. That's rude.
the one thing I check a lot, and not that I check it a lot, but I just get the emails because I signed up for them. Is I totally forget the name now.
GPA analysis.
No.
Coverprice.com.
No.
Key collector.
Well, I want to interview the guy, and we'll maybe I'll announce it next week if I can talk to the guy. But I sign up for his emails, and I get the emails.
Lyrica Exchange.
They send them out twice a week, and I check it pretty regular. I used to check it real often, but it's a great website that gives you what current books are selling, books that are trending. Jimmy, maybe we'll figure out when I tell you this. I am totally blanking on the name of it. But at any rate, so these were some books that just kind of like, yeah, we'll get into it. These were some books that popped into the feed that I thought were just interesting sales, kind of like Nico does with his Market Watch. These were ones that I thought, deserved a little bit of recognition. Saga number 1, 9.8. Reason being, they have not announced, as far as I know, when the next issue will be released. So a year ago, let's say this thing's been on hiatus, people are saying, "Oh, great series." Everybody agrees it's a modern top comic. Might be
Masterpiece.
on that top keys list that we do. And people are saying, "Well, I expect the market to dip on this, so get out while you can because of the lull between that the writer and the artist chose to take." It dipped a little bit, and I saw a sale through this email that said, "Well, let me check what this is at." So the recent sale was about 350. When the series was going hard, it was about 400. May have went a little bit higher than that, of course, but in the recent year, it hasn't really gone below 300. And if you're lucky, if you're getting it for 300. So this was just one I wanted to point out that
Yeah, you
know
can't get that book
in
for $300 on eBay.
the time between the current arcs, it hasn't really dipped. I think it's proven that this is a modern key that people will always be willing to pay for.
I agree.
Okay. And I've been able to buy this. So, me personally, I bought a raw copy at Heroes Con for $100 that I think would grade at 9.8. Heroes Con was in March, April. So
Yeah, they're harder
I think
on
it's a
that
book
book
that you can
recently. For the
look
record,
for.
don't
Next book
sub like
that I
20 of
saw
them.
I
at the
like the
same
saga
time.
though. I just bought the compendium, or I got the compendium recently, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to start reading that again. So it's a good book. Good book. Next book.
Very
This book
good.
kind of
Very
upsets
good
me
story.
that I saw that you put this book up. I didn't realize this was a rare book, but according to you, the Bone One ninth printing. I had one. I think it was an 8.5 signed by Jeff Smith. I probably sold for $50. But the most recent sale of a 9.8 on this book was $764, and as the listing says, this is the rarest copy.
So this was the only 9.8 on the census.
Yeah.
And when I saw the sale price, I said, "Why? You can buy this book raw, not signed, for $5 probably any day of the week." And
Where?
a ninth print of Bone, number one.
Apparently, it's the rarest one, according to this listing.
I think probably because it's only 9.8 on the census. I know Nico was hot for Bone for a little while.
No, I'm still
His
hot for
bone went
Bone.
down
but
as
His bone
time
went
progressed.
down. There's
What
no
do you-
ninth printings on eBay.
Exactly. Only 9.8 on the census. So this is the only copy that exists in 9.8. But
A
I think
9.6 sold
that's
for $135.
yeah, it's
Right
exactly
after this sold.
it's the reason for being for slabbing books that nobody else has slabbed. If there's something that's not on census or it's low or there's no recent GPA sales or there's no recent listed, why not do it? I mean, just put it up at a ridiculous price and maybe somebody will buy it. And in this case, it did. And I'm assuming it's just because of the news spike for the movie or whatever. But why would you want the ninth print
Because
for
it's
that
the
much?
rarest one. That's what it's. Whatever. This was a buy it now too. It wasn't even a
Best
bid. Or was
offer.
it a bid? Yeah, I think it was a buy it now.
I don't
Anyways,
recall. Yeah.
The other one, which is this was another buy it now on My Comic Shop, and this is a book I love. It's Air Pirate Funnies #1.
So the reason I put this one on here was because it surprised me for the opposite reason. This was actually, I believe, the lowest sale ever for this book.
down goes Frazier.
9.8, which was $1,400.
What kind of
Yeah.
sound effects is that? What the heck?
Yeah. I saw Nico's buddy. Nico had a recent interview that was interested in this book. I don't know. It just popped up. It was
The Fiend Club, the comic book Fiend Club, because they had it as one of their club books or something, right?
I think it's
Maybe I should
the
grade
club
my
book,
copy.
but maybe I should have fucking asked more probing
Yeah, I mean,
questions.
still,
Clearly, Jimmy knows
$1,400 for this
more
book.
about what's going on.
Really, anytime I've looked at this book, it's not that low of grade. Maybe like VF, but It's really not like a hard book to find in high grade. I don't feel, if you find it. I don't think the copies were abused like, you might find of a book of this value.
Well, what the fuck? So it's dropped to a third of the.
So it was just an interesting book. I thought that was.
Well, but it was selling for what, 3K?
Like I said, it's surprisingly
point, yeah.
low. Surprisingly low compared to the GPA values on it.
But yeah.
Still not. I wouldn't be embarrassed for $1,400 to get for that.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
I think it's Nico time. This graphic sucks, by the way. I need a better Nico time graphic. So if anybody wants to make like a funny picture of Nico and graphicize it and send it to me, I'm down.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so here's the first book on your list.
Fucking rotten hell.
So
first book, great job.
Nope, his microphone
Jimmy, yeah.
isn't working.
Yeah, really
my
appreciate
microphone
that.
isn't working? Oh, okay.
No, his isn't.
Oh, well, the first one on his list is
Wait,
Tomb of
you guys
Dracula
can't
10.
hear me?
No, I can hear you.
No, he's
Tomb of Dracula
okay.
10, and it is a raw one. Now, I was surprised to see a raw book on your list. What's up with that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It is a Mark Jeweler variant.
What does that mean?
I didn't even know there were Mark Jeweler variants.
What does that mean?
Mark Jeweler was a advertiser who put these nice displays in there and basically hustled wedding rings and other pieces of jewelry to service members. These books were sold predominantly on service bases. That's how his advertising contract went for a number of years, and there are people that chase these books specifically. No one really has any good idea of how many copies are out there or which books have these variants, but they are, price variants, a very exclusive kind of niche market, but they turn, mid-grade books into bigger books, low-grade books into mid-grade books. And generally give huge pluses to these kinds of things. Now, the key is not, I think, to go and grab these books in live auctions on eBay and bid against other collectors of Mark Jeweler variants, but instead to do this. When you buy comics, open them up. When you're looking in long boxes, you can see the inserts.
So this book sold for $458. And you think that's high?
No, but I think when it gets slabbed and gets the Mark Jeweler,
I don't think that's a noteworthy sale. That seems low. That seems like a good price.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good price. It's an auction that I would have bid on had I been hip to it when it happened. My friend watched it happen. I hope he got it. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it, but he shot me the information after the fact. Because it's not something that I generally do. I don't follow Mark Jeweler books, but there's a very, serious collector market for these kinds of comics, particularly when they're slabbed.
Yeah, I bought a Power Man with a Mark Jewelers for $30 on the weekend.
Nice.
Put it on eBay for $150 or some ridiculous amount. See what happens there. Okay, next book on your list is first appearance of Boba Fett, Star Wars 42, CGC 9.8.
Yeah, so The Mandalorian's hot, and nobody gives a shit about this book. It is, I think you got to let our buddy Jawn into the live chat. Will you click on his little thing, remember Bob there?
Oh, I didn't realize he was out of here. That's unfortunate.
Hi,
wasn't
buddy.
Paying attention. I was
sorry that you were being excluded. We blame Jimmy.
This bullshit, yeah.
But anyway, Jawn was very kind to pull up some GPA information about this book. Do you want to share it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. So the high this year was $600, right?
Yeah, it was an outlier.
It was an outlier sale. Generally, this book hasn't cracked the $400 mark, let alone the $500 mark, let alone hit the $600 mark. In spite of the success of the Disney Plus series, we've seen no real movement on either this or Watchmen 1/9/8. I'm particularly surprised that this book didn't command a premium because it's a newsstand, and newsstand editions generally command a premium.
So the other book I looked up because I figured this was where you're going with this was Star Wars 68, the other Boba Fett book that people go after That one is seeing a little bit of an uptick. The one thing I will say is, let me interject two things. Star Wars 68, I did see one sale that surprised me, which was very recent, within the past week, I think, for a raw copy. Near mint minus was around 100, which I thought was very high. The 9.8s are only going for about 300 currently. The other thing too is there's always been this thing with Star Wars Marvel comics with Boba Fett, 42, 68, and as well as most recently with Mandalorian TV series. People are always trying to figure out like what's going on here. Is 42 actually Boba Fett? Sure, looks like him. So that's what people say. 68 is more Boba Fett. His real first appearance was that. Oh boy, I'll give me
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back magazine
Graphic
and
novel.
book. Yeah, there was a magazine which I have. Is it a magazine or graphic novel, whatever you want to call it?
It's like an oversized.
Yeah, I have a few of those. I should pull those out now you say that.
I mean,
But I think
the
his
only reason I
first
call
was
it
actually
a graphic
book.
novel is because it looks more like the Marvel graphic novel series, like
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like what they called them back in the day with the first New Mutants.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I think you're right on that.
But they are magazine size and magazine thickness, not a fucking trade paperback.
I should have looked those up, and I was not
Jimmy's
thinking
making
about
faces
that
again.
I talked about it.
Gas when we talk.
Well, the other thing too is with Boba Fett is not actually a Mandalorian, so
you don't know
it doesn't actually relate. Yeah, I talked to my buddy, the Enforcer. He's got a ton of knowledge on Star Wars, like more than you would ever know. And he hit me to some stuff because I was trying to get knowledgeable on it for the podcast.
Strong.
The next book that you want to talk about was Marvel Mystery Comics 63. So this is
absolutely
CBCS 40.
Yeah, I fucking
sold for $2,500. Now this was a My Comic Shop Buy It Now.
Yeah, I fucking love this book. It's probably my favorite Marvel mystery comics. It only really comes up in like heritage auctions. Jimmy's making faces.
Like, that was like your favorite one. There's way better ones. Okay, but continue.
Which ones do you like?
I don't know offhand, but there's way better ones.
He likes the if you just
he likes ones that are more expensive. There's one where there's a green Hitler that's super expensive. It's probably the second or third best.
Go on, I'm listening.
If you look at it from far away, there's like the Human Torch, and he's like shooting out some stuff.
Yeah, basically it's got Hitler and Goebbels running for their life from the Human Torch as he blasts through their airplane. How is that not the fucking best one?
Right? Does that say Goebbels or something?
Yes.
I don't know.
Did you say gerbils?
You know, the guy, the bad guy. You know, the guy who did all the concentration camp stuff. The bad guy in World War II. It's terrible. Wasn't that his name, Goebbels or something?
I don't feel like this is going anywhere good.
You're doing better than usual, but still not that well.
I'm just saying, isn't that what that says? I don't know. I can't see. But my point is, he was like one of Hitler's top terrible guys. So it makes sense that he'd be on the cover. Anyways, the point is, I like this. Anything else about this cover? Anything else you get?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It's sold.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So, you know, we talk, I'll rephrase that. I talk time and time again about the value of legitimately rare comics. And that's hard when it comes to Marvel and DC books. Okay. Easier when you're talking about
Bone 9th print.
I was thinking more along the lines of like other Golden Age smaller presses, but
Green Llama.
Jesus fuck. All right. Anyway, the point is there are a total of 41 copies of this book
that's a lot.
On the census. Yeah.
That's a lot. Jimmy says 41 copies.
No, for a book from 1945, from Timely, I think that's a lot.
Yeah, because I would say basically there are 50 copies in existence, and there's 9 guys that are reading them.
There's at least double that. There's at
Okay,
least
100
double or
copies in
triple
existence.
how many copies are on the census, because not everybody grades their books.
Quadruple.
I would say there's double. to
Everybody
Because-
has bothered
Well,
to
but the one
fucking
he's
grade
saying,
this sucker.
but the image you're showing is CBCS, which
Right.
still has no census somehow.
No census. Yeah.
something-
And look, I
Yeah,
was trying to
something
make a
doesn't add
joke.
up here.
Jimmy makes them all the time and then gets very annoyed when I do it, as if there's like really serious. But the point is, it's a beautiful cover. It's a super rare book, right? And Jimmy's estimation of like maybe 100 total books is probably factually accurate. My joke that like there's maybe 9 guys that haven't slabbed this book that want to fucking crack it open is funny because it's almost true. Beautiful book. I think the book was up on eBay for something like 15 minutes. It's in my saved searches. It showed up, and while I was thinking about whether or not I should buy it, gone.
Sure.
Next.
Another one was this other Marvel mystery book, right?
Go with your gut, not your heart.
It's number
Yeah, this is
45. It sold at auction though for 17, 77, and 77 cents.
Yeah, so this is another super cool book. Probably my second or third favorite Marvel mystery comics. It reminds me of the Indiana Jones scene where he's being tortured by the Nazis, and you know what I mean, like at the table. Here you've got hooded Klan Nazis and the Human Torch rescuing American soldiers. It is the only Red Skull cover on a Marvel mystery comics. I think
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think for my money, Marvel Mystery Comics is where Marvel Comics started. There's like 25, 26 universal copies of this specific book, but it's always like that, right? Like between 25 and 50, maybe 75 slabbed blue label books. But as you get to the less sought after covers, right? Not the ones that are controversial because they depict Nazi soldiers. You can get them cheap, $300-$400, and you're talking about like the same price tag that some people are paying for like that goofy fucking Conan Moon Knight book in 9.8 here in about 60 to 90 days. And my message universally is pick up those rare books. Like if you love Marvel Comics, do yourself a favor, pass on the stupid Moon Knight Conan book,
But that's a rare
and buy
book,
yourself a Marvel Mystery Comics, 3-5 slab for $400, and you'll never regret the purchase. Let's talk about the last one on the list. This is another one that I'm kicking myself in the ass for missing. It's super rare. It's one of my absolute favorite war comics. I think there's a real opportunity with war comics and some classic Westerns, more so than PCH or superhero books that everybody's got eyes on to find sales. This book in this condition will, when it's graded, sell for, maybe 4 or 5 times the asking price, easy.
So there's only one graded sale of this.
Right.
Of this
7
book.
total copies on the
Total.
census. Yeah. One
175.
sale on GPA in the last 4 or 5 years. And then there was some other guy who Jawn found, God bless him, on the CGC boards that had a copy with like a tape pull that was like mildly mangled. That I think he sold it for $250, same price as this copy, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, I think you're right. This I don't know why. I guess people were assuming.
Dude, I fucked up. I had it on my auctions, and then I
put
literally
this on
like.
auction though.
Oh yeah, it
Why
was an
not
auction.
why
Put that on auction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just a dumb move on the seller's part. I think he
Maybe
thought
they
that
didn't know
other
what they
people were hip
had.
to it. No, I think he probably did. It's who knows? Maybe you're right, but I think he thought that far more people were hip to it. When you start talking about these like super rare books, you're talking about a small audience of people that really are acutely aware of stuff that's super duper rare and super duper scarce. And while they'll pay an extraordinary amount for them, they've got to be looking for them and got to know that it's up for a live auction. Like literally, when was the last time one of these came up for auction? Once in the last 4 years.
best of both worlds, like that they know how to use eBay, and they know how to use a saved auction or a saved search result.
Yeah,
And
like I'll give you a good example.
You
of that.
almost have to have a buyer for you that is willing to, like, you give them a commission. Say like, hey, I want these 500 books. I'm gonna give you it's almost like this is how art buyers work. They don't go out. Art buyers don't go out and just wander around and find art. They got people that go out and look at stuff and say, hey, do you like this? Do you like this? I think you might like this. The same kind of results with stuff like when you get to a high price point. Now, this didn't sell for a high price point, but it's got that rarity level.
Right,
Yeah.
but it should have. Like, I'm
Yeah.
shocked that this wasn't $1,000 sale.
Yeah.
Or, a $2,000 sale. Who knows? No indications of restoration. Not that I'm
that cover is really
a pro, but it's
the color looks great on it.
oh no, but I mean, like when we talk about these super rare sales, right? Like those Marvel mystery books, for example, the 45. There was one other sale in 2019, other than the one we talked about, and it was for $9,000. And then there were no sales in 2018 at all, none.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like this book. I mean, I'm interested. I'm intrigued by some of the books you bring up sometimes that I've never seen before.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, I think that was a good Nico time.
Thanks.
Very good.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for the help, John.
You're welcome. The other news that came out today was
too. Also, Jimmy.
Well, yeah, I put together this live show.
Too.
Yeah.
News that came out today was that they dropped the Black Widow trailer finally.
Yeah, what about this Black Widow trailer?
I honestly didn't watch it because I don't care at all.
You didn't even watch it?
What the fuck is the matter with you?
I'm not going to see the movie. I don't care.
We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for a while.
Well, that's why I asked you to come up with these images, and you did. You did a great job.
She's amazing. I would just watch her on mute.
I disagree.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I can't watch her ever last. This lost in translation. I've always found her unattractive. Maybe I'm into dudes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But anyways, what's this?
I got a slide coming up for you next that you might be into. This first one is so they released the teaser trailer today. They're calling it. The movie does not come out till May 2020. I believe it's the next Marvel movie. There is obviously DC before that, and Bloodshot comes out before that. So everybody's
Bloodshot comes out before that.
It does.
Like that matters. Okay.
No, dude.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hyped for Bloodshot. I know the trailer. I think the trailer had a lot of haters on it. But
I'm excited.
For Bloodshot. What is wrong with you guys?
This gives a lot of. So this is.
I want a fucking Harbinger movie. Anyway,
we still got 6 months until the next Marvel movie. Now we have there's so much things going on now with Marvel, but that's a lot of time to still build hype for these kind of movies. And obviously along the way we'll be getting other Phase 4 things going on. But I think Black Widow's got a lot of potential. The first scene we see is Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson wrestling with the blonde-haired woman who was obviously Yelena Belova. They look like they're squaring off. They're going to go at each other, and then
I like it when they wrestle.
They amicably just stop fighting and say, "Good to see you, sister." So it was the first time we got a real glimpse of her. The next one is who Jimmy was obviously real hyped about, just based on looks alone. Red Guardian, nice big bear for Jimmy to be intrigued about. They already showed a funny scene where he gets the costume back on, and this woman says that he got fat. We talked about this one a little while back was it last podcast? We talked about when the trailer was dropping. This will be the first time we'd probably see him. The book's today flying off eBay. Did people not realize Red Guardian was going to be coming? I mean, I don't understand why people buy comics the day that the trailer drops. This has been known for a long time.
Yeah, it makes me so excited.
I know. I love it.
Dude, I've
It's
got a
just,
couple gorgeous copies left.
I
I was
get
able
to
to like ride that perfect wave, like sold, right?
yeah. I get to sell
Bought
a couple of
more.
those.
I'm gonna be selling.
I get to buy some stuff that I like, and put him in my PC. So he looked funny. I think he'll be good.
So the next
And
one was
then
this. What's this about? This is what the
just
Addie Granoff
that we
cover.
get to see, that we get to see her white costume, which has been known. Deadly Origin #2 variant. I'm guessing off the top of my head. Can't remember.
That's right.
1 or 2. Yeah.
Nope. 2.
I think the big thing from the movie trailer that is going to roll forward is number one. I was listening to the radio today. People just not into comic books at all. They watched the trailer. They said, "Yeah, it looks good, but I'm not sure what the timeline is." We knew that from the beginning. I think people are confused because of Hawkeye being in it and Black Widow. Obviously died. So people are confused about that. And Kevin Feige said recently, like this week, I think, just trust me on this. Like there is an end game to this. He didn't say those words. Obviously, that fits into Marvel a little bit differently. But he said, just trust me. Like we're going somewhere with this. So the interesting part was this obviously takes place in the past. We got an image of Thunderbolt Ross. Why is that relevant to this movie? I don't know. They haven't even really said what the story is about for the most part. Marvel's done a good job keeping wraps on it. So, who knows
Here comes
exactly
Thunderbolts. Here
where it's
comes
going to.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Right
So,
down. Thunderbolts lane.
seems. Yeah. So, there was one other image released. There was one other part of that trailer, the Black Widow, which was a character. Yeah,
Yeah, where's she at?
I didn't get to throw it in there. Well,
Nah.
she or he. I didn't get to throw it in there.
You thought it was a dude, like
So-
everybody else, and I was like, no, it's a chick. And now you're like, no, it's a chick, and I'm like, maybe it's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think it's the most intriguing part of the trailer, besides the long-term effects of Thunderbolt Ross. We already knew about everything else happening. There was a scene shown, which I am thinking is the same images that were released very early by. They were leaked, like a paparazzi photography of what we thought was Taskmaster driving down the street in a tank, popped up, through the middle, shooting. There was in the trailer images of what I think is the same scene of a character shooting a crossbow that has more like tactical gear on, which is why everybody thought when that original photo was shown that it would be the Ultimate Universe version of Taskmaster. Now it looks more like this may be a woman character. And a lot of people are saying, wow, that's like a terrible Taskmaster. Now it may be a woman character. They confirmed Taskmaster, so that's still up in the air as to why that character was not shown. But remember, this movie does not come out for 5.5 months or so. They could still be doing CGI. Could still be doing something else with the character.
Yeah, but there was a female Taskmaster, right? So
Correct.
Could it be that or no?
Was there?
I mean,
That's my
does
question.
Rachel Weisz play in the movie? Yeah, is Rachel Weisz playing the?
Iron Maiden?
So they
Is she
said
playing Iron Maiden?
Or is
I thought
that the
that-
undisclosed female?
I thought that they said Iron Maiden was confirmed for the movie, and that's where I'm thinking this character shown might be Iron Maiden. But you're right. Rachel Weisz has not been. Her role has not been confirmed. So,
She could be.
was there a
Who
female
knows?
Taskmaster somewhere?
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't look like the one in the movie, but there was a female one. Who knows? I don't care anymore. So the other thing that you wanted to talk about, which I thought was garbage,
Jesus.
was
I
we're leading
know.
back in. Well, we're leading into the Thunderbolts, right? So we're going back into General Ross, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think that
So
the images were released from the set of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that lead us to think that Songbird might be showing up. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Songbird's first appearance is Incredible Hulk 449, the first appearance of the Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, yep.
And this is the
So
image.
there were some set images released that look like it could be the character Songbird, and
So this
it
looks like
would,
it could be the character Songbird.
La 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 la
well,
la.
don't you have a close up of it?
Nico, are you paying attention right now? He's
Oh,
saying
fair.
that this person in pink hair in a jacket, who could be anyone, just because they have pink hair, is Songbird. That's what he's saying right now.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, or
Okay.
an extra, or it's
Or like
her.
a makeup
I
person.
don't know. But
Now,
for the record,
what was the group
it's
that Songbird
probably
was in?
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, and
Shut
obviously,
up!
like
Your sound effects are terrible. Like, why do you do that, Nico?
obviously,
man.
I didn't get these images. You know, obviously, I got these online from rumors, and I'm just kind of following that. But I think the rumors make sense. That okay, so we're seeing this character that may be Pink doing a concert performance, or it could be
consistent with
or they could be filming Falcon and Winter Soldier. We don't know, but
consistent with the General Ross.
Songbird is in Thunderbolts. We're seeing Thunderbolt Ross in the Black Widow trailer. They've already pretty much said. I don't think it's been confirmed, right? That Thunderbolts is a for sure thing.
Right, they haven't said
But
it's happening,
but it's heavily rumored, but for a long time. But I think stronger rumors have recently come out.
saying that this is Songbird is a stretch, but okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, what does it matter? Even though for speculation, because first appearance of Thunderbolts doesn't really matter.
That the books are going to move. I mean, that's all that the news is. It was just a little,
They're going to sell
a
at a
little
low price.
tweak.
Yeah,
a little tweak that's going to move some books.
And then what? There was some kind of Reddit leak for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Guardians Volume 3. So there were two things that were posted online. These were posted in 4chan and Reddit, which are both skeptical places to get information from in the first place. But Reddit especially, 4chan has had some good leaks in the past.
Well, the whole plot of the second one was leaked on 4chan, right? And then it turned out to be completely accurate.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I think the thing is that whenever these leaks happen, nothing is going to follow exactly when they're leaked, because they're still going to tweak things even as the movie is made. They're not going to tweak big plot lines as to like who the characters are, but they might tweak some small things in there as to how things progress in the movie. And the reason I say that is because I think it was the 4chan leak had a lot of like real detailed things like this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. It's like, well, James Gunn said that he is not going to work on this movie until he's done with the Suicide Squad movie. He wrote the script for this before he was fired from Marvel. Then he went to the Suicide Squad movie. So the script had been done. He said he was not going to work on this until that movie was completely done. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that.
And as far as I know, they're not done filming the Suicide Squad movie. So for all this stuff to start leaking, seems a little out of timeline to me. But what they both said is basically, in my interpretation, this thing is going to feature heavily on Rocket. We already knew that Lila, his was that his wife? Can't remember. She was in the same comic as his first appearance in the Hulk issue. It's going to feature heavily on him. It seemed like. I think the big thing to come out of it, or at least as far as speculation, was that Drax may go after his daughter, or they had conflicting reports. Could be that he's going to adopt this daughter, which is Cammy. And she, in Drax #1 from his miniseries, Sorry, apparently we're having Tourette's with our slideshow here. Uh, she is not related to him, but he picks her up and takes her away, and they become bonded. They have a relationship together. So the two different leaks said one that he would like adopt this kid. The other one said like he would pick up his daughter. His daughter, in actuality, in Marvel, is Moondragon. So I'm not sure. This is just my thought based off of these rumors. Could it be Moondragon? Because we've heard some pretty strong rumors that Moondragon is going to be involved in Phase 4. Seems like a good time to introduce Moondragon. We've talked about this on previous podcasts. Could be Cammy still. Who knows? But Moondragon is actually Drax's daughter. So the other characters mentioned for it. High Evolutionary, we already knew that. High Evolutionary is who creates Rocket and Lila. We already talked about Lila. Cammy. There's a big possibility Warlock will be involved. Warlock was basically already in at the end of Guardians 2.
What about Gunn's statement that Warlock is not going to be in the film?
James Gunn likes to put out a lot of stuff that just...
I think that was just misinformation.
I think a lot of these people, they have to put out stuff that doesn't lead on to what their story is going to be. And I think Gunn does that. He absolutely does that. Now, he did also say another thing that came up through these leaks was that Thor would not be in this movie. And one of the early thoughts, because of that, how Endgame ended, was that the next movie may be as Guardians of the Galaxy. And Gunn said, like you're saying in a tweet, there's absolutely no chance that will be the name of the movie. Now the leak is saying that Thor will not be in it, but he may be in it by voice. So things evolve over time. And that's why I'm saying, like, he wrote the script 2 years ago at this point. I mean, are we still going to think that the script is hard and fast this? Now there's leaks coming out. Why? He hasn't worked on the script in a long time. There should be no reason. Now they did get Nebula did get a read of it recently, so I'm guessing that's why some stuff started coming out, because it got leaked somehow. So who knows? I think Warlock is a good possibility because he was basically at the end of the last movie, and they're also saying Groot will basically become a giant Groot, like he's going to grow a lot bigger than he used to. Is there any comic book relation to that? I don't know. Mm-hmm. The reason I bring that up is because Baby Groot popped for a minute in comic books. Is there a giant Groot that would pop? Not really. He was always pretty much giant Groot. Like his first appearance, he was as tall as buildings. So,
dude, I swear to Christ, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like Beta Ray Bill popped, right? Quasar popped. Moondragon popped. Starjammers popped. Nova Corps popped. I mean, like, there's got to be 24 independent characters from plotline leaks that
were never really like major characters, you know, like, so these are the long shot ones. There's a possibility that Richard Rider, Nova, we've talked about that because it's been
everybody and their brothers
pretty much
about
leaked that Nova is in development. So the 4chan leak or the Reddit leak, one of the two, said we get an image of a Nova Corps and part of it, not definitive if it's Nova or not. So it could be Nova. I'm guessing it probably is if that ends up happening. I would pick Richard Rider over John C. Reilly. I would love to see John C. Reilly instead, but I don't know that that's where MCU is going. Starjammers, the rumor is that Starjammers and whatever the hell Sylvester Stallone's name is in the movie is, they hook up.
Ogard.
Yeah, they hook up and help out the Guardians team.
Gladiator, which is the character of Starjammers, happens, right?
What?
Could be, yeah, could be, absolutely.
What do you mean, what, Jimmy? I don't even fucking what.
And the other
Go ahead.
character is Moondragon. That's cool.
It's a
Anyway,
possibility.
thanks, John. I'm glad that you too read comic books at some point in time in the
those were
last
great
20
rumors.
years.
I'm glad you looked into that.
You're welcome. That's what we do here on Comic Book Wars. We talk about speculation.
Another
Ding,
character.
ding.
Another character who's been
Ding.
rumored to be appearing in the Moon Knight series is the Bushmaster.
Who cares?
That's Jimmy's nickname amongst the ladies.
Well, he's like he's like
We
the
talked about
oldest
this like a
nemesis
long
of the
time
Moon
ago.
Knight. Did we already talk about this?
Yeah, and his
Well,
first
it's now
appearance
been-
is like irrelevant.
Well, this
Because
book is an irrelevant book, though. There's nothing happens in this book except it's the first appearance of Bushmaster.
But
And
look
the book
at him
has
right
been
on the
selling-
cover there, front and center. Not Moon Knight, Bushmaster. Yeah.
Where? This is Bushmaster.
He's got a lady holding his arm. Hold
It's
on,
not
Bushmaster.
This is all. Isn't this all? That's his different personalities. Where I don't know.
Hold on,
Whatever.
Bushmaster. Don't go after Moonlight like that.
Oh boy,
Another
I
rumor
like this book.
Another rumor that's been floating around is that ISIS is showing up in the Black Adam TV movie, the Rock one, which kind of makes sense.
Movie.
ISIS, yeah, the movie. So ISIS.
It's not a TV movie.
ISIS's first appearance was in a TV show. Not called ISIS. It was called something else, but I can't remember it. But then she showed up.
Empty.
It wasn't,
Al Qaeda.
but it wasn't the Shazam TV show either.
No, I think she had her own show.
Yeah,
Actually.
she had
It's
a
called
completely
ISIS.
different show, and it wasn't called ISIS. It happened
Al Qaeda?
a year. It came out. Shut up! It came out a year before this book.
ISIL.
Shazam 25, and pretty much what she is she's an archaeologist who finds this amulet and a scroll, and then she ends up putting it on and becomes this mysteriously cool character. But it makes sense for Black Adam because this one, this is Adrian something. But she becomes his love interest in the 52 series. So it makes sense.
That's how you're going to describe that?
I can't remember her name in this. It's Adrian
Well,
right?
you're talking about two different characters.
Yeah, but this is Isis, the Isis character. The first time it appeared in Shazam 25. And then she has another appearance, which was
it's a different character.
It's a different character who's Isis.
Correct.
But her
So the
first appearance
speculation is that she may be the movie character. Why is that speculation? Nobody knows. We just make it up.
Well, because she
actually
shows up in Black Adam comics where the original Isis doesn't. So
she's in the Shazam comics.
Black Adam never
Black
shows
Adam
up with
first appeared.
Yeah, they never show up together. Black Adam doesn't show up in a book with her.
They got on the down low.
Keep it on the hush.
Remember, he said
Don't
that's
say nothing.
Fucking guy. Anyway, so 52 week 12 has been selling well. Her first appearance week 3 hasn't been, but week 12 is when she becomes Isis. So I think both books are good books to be looking for because they are like dollar bin flotters. So who knows? And then the last topic I had was Watchmen. If you guys want to talk about that at all.
Yeah,
Watchmen
you started
TV
with
show.
Jimmy looks like he's about to explode his head if we have to talk about it.
on there. Jimmy loves it.
Does Jimmy hate Watchmen?
He loves it.
Can we talk about so the thing I'm most impressed, I guess, for the TV show is that the story was derived of nothing from Alan Moore work except for character traits and where basically it left off at what's his name who did this?
Damon Lindelof.
Yeah. As far as I know, he did not steal anything like Alan Moore did to create this show, except for, just basically continued the story, which he was allowed to do because he, they owned the property at that point or whatever. I think it's a pretty cool
Dude,
premise.
I'm thrilled with the TV show. I can't wait for you to catch up. I can't say that each episode was better than the next, but there were certainly highs and lows. But overall, it's just been a really refreshing take on The Watchmen. I like it much better than the movie. I was not a big fan of the movie, to be perfectly honest. Jimmy's making faces again.
Well,
What
the movie
wrong
was
with the movie?
the
This
movie
TV
was
show's garbage compared to the movie. What
the
was
movie
wrong with
was
the
a
movie?
direct interpretation of the comic, if you
Except
want to
the
call it a
ending was
graphic
different.
novel. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
but it was still like the movie was amazing. What was wrong with the movie? This TV show's garbage. I could pick up so many
thought it
things
was
about
fine.
this TV show that sucks.
I thought the movie was fine. There was like, if you wanted to watch a comic book as a movie, it was exactly like it, which we always complain about Marvel stuff that they don't follow the comics close enough.
Yeah,
I mean, they
never.
they did an exact thing for Watchmen. It was exactly like the comic. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
and
right.
I never
Like, you can't be mad
ever
about
complain about that. I don't,
I do.
because I like to read
it because
books.
it pisses me off on spec. Like, you can't spec on stuff
Oh.
when they're changing stuff. You know, like
Yeah,
like
I
you're
mean, I
saying.
like
Oh,
the
but he
artist.
doesn't,
are we
he doesn't
gonna
read
have-
books, right? So
No, that's not
doesn't?
true, Jimmy. Jimmy,
Nico
that's
reads
like
more
Jimmy's
shit
like
than me.
that. Yeah, clearly, and
doubt
certainly dickhead up there. But
I get it.
I also have a pretty fucking good memory. So the problem is I don't necessarily like want to see the same goddamn thing again. I think it's an immature critique to be like, this was it was not consistent with the television or the comic book was not consistent with the television show or the film, and therefore
Yeah.
it is. But you know,
Well, what
like,
about,
who fucking
like-
cares?
what
But I
about,
get
like,
your point, which is like I
Walking
like to
Dead,
be able
like-
to make spec picks. Fuck.
Like, Rick has both hands in the Walking Dead TV show, but it was very integral to the comic book that he did not have both. I mean, and that was basically, but that was Kirkman the whole time, like, changing stuff. Like,
That's because Kirkman
I think
was,
he basically,
he was right.
he basically said, like,
filled.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, oh, I should have done it differently if I knew it was going to be popular.
Yeah, and I don't really necessarily care one way or the other. I don't necessarily prefer one or the other. I just want it to always be good.
I think Watchmen
Right?
was like, or I'm sorry, I think Walking Dead was like a good example of if you had to redo it again very recently, you know, like within recent time, same writer, what would you do differently? And Kirkman did that.
Yeah, and I got a feeling we might, God willing, see more of that with Marvel. Whew, should we be so lucky? And maybe with some of the other publishing companies, as there becomes like an increasing like interrelationship between film and you know, television and the books. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But you're right. Like The Walking Dead was certainly the intro, the first big one, and what Kirkman was able to do there is certainly something all these other guys could learn from. And when he was when he was
not a big Kirkman fan.
Kirkman plus Greg Nicotero was a match made in heaven for me. But I like this show.
Was that Super Dinosaur?
No, Greg Nicotero is the special effects guy for The Walking Dead season 1.
Oh, the guy that's doing the Spawn movie that's never going to happen?
Interestingly, did you notice Todd McFarlane? Todd McFarlane was trying to suggest that there was a lot of interest in his film all of a sudden because of the success of the Joker.
I thought we were talking about Watchmen.
Well, that's the graphic, but
we've moved on.
Yeah, we've kind of moved on. You want to give us the better graphic?
The only other thing with Spawn was he hired somebody to help him rewrite the screenplay, didn't he? Something like that.
Sounds fucking great.
I would love to see it made. Let's just fucking get it done, man. You got no budget. You had two guys signed
Jamie
on that
Foxx.
could sell any movie, and you had Hawkeye. I mean, how can you
Jeremy
not
Renner.
sell that movie?
Listen, I don't know. I think this was a great podcast.
Greg Nicotero is a beast.
Some great stuff.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be doing the special effects for Spawn.
It'd be
doing
amazing.
the makeup. I'm sorry.
It would be amazing.
We're at episode 31. Last week was episode 30. I think we had a great episode. I just want to
so can we talk about something that's very serious, guys? We're gonna have a Christmas Eve episode and a New Year's Eve episode, both on Tuesdays. So we're gonna have to hear from the fans how they want us to handle that. Jimmy's making faces.
And that's not happening.
We may move that to another day of the week.
Some people have things they do on Christmas Eve, like not that.
Good
I
at
think my
comic book
nephew's here.
sales.
Yeah, I think
Avoiding
my nephew's
friends.
here.
No,
I'll
I'm
be-
not.
I'll
I'm
be doing,
definitely doing family
Jimmy,
things
I
those
think we're
days.
gonna be like watching Jurassic Park a million times.
What are you
I've
talking
decided. So
Or we may,
Jimmy,
we
you don't have any family. We know they've disowned you.
we
Come
can
on.
maybe
what?
we could just maybe pre-film.
Yeah, maybe we could because we just like we pre-filmed those
Top
That makes
100.
sense.
yeah,
Those are good.
yeah,
Those are coming in real quick.
yeah, they're coming, I assume. But anyways, yeah,
Yes,
thanks for tuning in. I love how he gives announcements of things like he just blindsides us, and then we're just like,
right.
we'll catch you guys next week. We'll definitely be here next week. Anyways, catch you later. Bye now.
See ya.